the cheap challenge. It's the cheap challenge. It's the cheap challenge. It's the cheap challenge. King Buddha, it's never too late to awake you. King Buddha, it's never too late for mistake to. King Buddha, it's never too late to awake you. King Buddha, it's never too late for mistake to. King Buddha, shut up or shut up. King Buddha, shut up or shut up.
We have got to the point.
What it do, chat? Welcome to today's episode. You already know what it is. It's your boy King Buddha. Welcome to the Cheat Challenge. And today we got a crazy episode, chat. Sorry we starting a little late, but we gotta get it started, chat. Hey, we got Trap More Ross, and he has an episode called New Evidence That Epstein Is Alive. Deep dive, chat. We are yet to download the actual Department of Justice files on the Epstein files and see it with our own eyes. But today we're gonna go, and I had to watch this with you guys because it was just crazy to hear the idea that he might be alive. I mean, he had enough money. He was a billionaire like that. And when you are a billionaire, that's enough money to fake your own death, chat. I don't know what to tell you, but let's get right into it. You already see what it is. It's your boy Chief from the Cheat Challenge, aka King Buddha. And right now, chat, I ordered some. You know what it was that I ordered? I ordered some Uber Eats, and when I saw the time on the Uber Eats, I was like, nah, man, that's gonna take too long. So I went and I made myself some cup of noodles, the shrimp kind, because I said, nah, man, I gotta eat something until the food get here, because for real, like 8:38 to like about 9:15 was the window. I'm like, man, by then I'll starve to death. So I had to make food to eat to hold me down until the food get here. Sounds crazy. Almost useless, to be honest with you. But it is some good food from the hibachi. So for now, I'll enjoy the cup of noodle. You know what I mean? So guys, let's get ready. Let's get right into it.
Denying that this is Epstein. There's been a lot of talk about Jeffrey Epstein still being alive. Now, I covered this a couple of days ago, basically talking about an alleged Fortnite account that had apparently been reactivated after Jeffrey Epstein died. It was apparently his account. Well, now there's a lot of mixed messages coming out. Fortnite themselves are denying that this is Epstein's account.
And they should. If their name is being tossed around that they bought V-Bucks with Epstein's account, they gotta definitely be like, nah, chill.
They're saying that somebody is playing a prank. But then there's other stuff circulating where people think they found even more proof that Epstein could still be alive.
Well, let's get right into
Maybe
it.
he faked his death. Maybe he was smuggled out. They may have made a fake Epstein corpse out of some boxes. It's crazy. And I'm going to break it all down for you in this video. So the first...
Shouts to Trap More Ross for the episode, guys. Don't forget to go like his page and subscribe. He's one of the top dudes from the UK that covers hip-hop. You already know the vibes.
First thing I'm going to show you is this. This is from Fortnite States. It says, hey, official Fortnite here. This was a ruse by a Fortnite player. A few days ago, an existing Fortnite account owner changed their username to something totally unrelated to Little Saint Jeff 1, following the revelation of Little Saint Jeff 1 as a name on YouTube. These Fortnite trackers only display your current name, not any prior changes to it. We have no record of the subject's email addresses referenced in the public document existing in the Fortnite account system. Since the public document releases, people have created Fortnite accounts with similar looking email addresses and usernames. So they're saying it's cap. Okay, I hope Fortnite aren't trying to cover for Jeffrey Epstein. That's I pray that's not what's going on, okay?
You imagine?
Thanks for the clarification. All right, they're saying we have no record of the suspect's email addresses referenced in the public document existing in the Epic account system. Well, what's this? Charge for V-Bucks on Fortnite. Okay. Says if you have no record of his email, then your records are incomplete. Given the records show his email tied to V-Bucks purchases, assign this 0 credibility score. We're official. Come on, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But look, it says I'm sure it's a coincidence he brought V-Bucks back in 2019. All right, there's a lot of strange things going around, but one of the craziest things going around. Okay, since now we've got to believe that Fortnite are in on the conspiracy. Okay, but the theory that Epstein is still alive, it's moved from the fringes of the internet. Now it's becoming, a big question mark that people are digging into, and people are saying they're finding new evidence in the files that there's actually a high-level cover-up going on. So this is going around. Okay. This is an interesting Reddit post that I saw yesterday. I thought I need to talk about this. So it says, I'm a former maximum security CO who posted about Epstein's suspicious death 6 months ago. There's a new data point, and now Occam is finally rolling over in his grave.
Most AI plugins do all the work for you.
A corrections officer changes everything, let me tell you.
Months ago, I posted my Occam is free CO who posted about Epstein's suspicious death 6 months ago. There's a new data point, and now Occam is finally rolling over in his grave. 6 months ago, I posted my perspective on Epstein's death. My position was that the official story doesn't hold up operationally. Cameras failing, officers sleeping simultaneously, suicide watch conveniently removed, cell design defeated, and forensics that don't match. Each one unlikely, but together nearly impossible. It says, now we have the document dump 3.5 million pages. Buried in there is a detail that caught my attention. The decoy body. According to the released files, when Epstein's body was removed from the Metropolitan Correctional Center, jail staff created what appeared to be a body, using boxes and sheets. They loaded this into a white van marked as medical examiner, and the media then followed that van. The actual body was loaded into a black vehicle that left unnoticed. This is not normal. This is not a thing. In my entire time in corrections, I've never heard of a decoy body transport. There's no protocol for it, no training for it, no reason to do it. When an inmate dies, you document everything. You follow chain of custody and you move the body through the proper channels. You don't create fake corpses to misdirect journalists. This was an operational misdirection. The question is, misdirection from what? Let me lay it out again. Camera failure. Federal facilities have redundant camera systems. They're checked regularly, and when they go out, it's considered emergency maintenance. Total failure at the exact moment of a high-profile inmate's death is extremely unlikely. Sleeping officers. 2 officers allegedly fell asleep simultaneously and falsified records. These are federal correctional officers, selected, trained, and assigned to one of the most sensitive posts in corrections history. 1 officer falling asleep is a fireable offense. 2 at the same time on this particular inmate, unlikely. SUID watch removal. Epstein was placed on watch after a previous incident. Removal requires administrative approval. It's not a casual decision. It was removed shortly before his death, drastically lowering the protection around him at exactly the wrong moment. The cell design. Federal high-security cells are specifically engineered to prevent the S word. Fixtures are designed to prevent ligature points. Bedding is designed to tear under weight. It's not impossible to do the big sad, but the cells are designed to make it difficult.
Oh, yeah.
The forensic evidence. The autopsy showed injuries to the neck, specifically broken bones, that multiple independent forensic experts said were more consistent with strangulation than by hanging by sheet. This doesn't prove murder, but it's another data point that doesn't fit the official narrative cleanly. The new data point, decoy body. I have literally never heard of this before in years of corrections. Occam's razor. People misuse this concept constantly. Occam's razor doesn't say the simplest sounding explanation is true. It says you shouldn't multiply entities unnecessarily because the explanation that requires the fewest independent assumptions is usually correct. The official story requires you to believe 1. Redundant camera systems failed simultaneously by coincidence at the exact moment of death. 2. 2 trained federal officers fell asleep at the same time on the highest profile inmate in the country by coincidence. 3. Administrative approval was given to remove S-Watch shortly before death by coincidence. 4. An inmate defeated cell design specifically engineered to prevent what he allegedly did. 5. Forensic findings don't match the described method, are explainable or irrelevant. 6. Staff constructed a decoy body and ran a misdirection operation on the press for reasons. Each of these is independent. For the official story to...
No, chat. That part right there is weird. That the only 2 people there fell asleep at the same time? That's crazy. That's crazy. Not on the high profile guys.
Be true, all of them have to be true simultaneously with no connection between them. The alternative requires you to believe powerful people with a lot to move had a motive to ensure Epstein never testified. Someone with access and authority coordinated the conditions for his death. The scene was managed before, during, and after. That's one assumption. It was managed. Everything else flows from that. For honesty's sake, I will again leave the room for the possibility he was just given space to off himself and succeeded. Still a cover-up, still illegal. Also, previously, I assigned a non-zero but extremely low likelihood that he is still alive. That possibility is now increased by orders of magnitude. The records also detail a trick that jail staffers used to fool the media gathered outside while Epstein's body was removed. They used boxes and sheets to create what appeared to be a body and loaded it into a white van labeled as belonging to the office of the chief medical examiner. The reporters followed the van till it left the jail, not knowing that Epstein's actual body was loaded into a black vehicle which departed unnoticed.
Now, chat. Not trying to insert myself in shit, but I do remember seeing a moment where there was a video. I don't know if it was a surveillance or if it was a person holding a phone when that second van, they loaded the real body into it, but there was a guy who walked in there in a jumpsuit. So I remember that too. So I could almost tell you that that's the first time in history where people do that, where they send a dead inmate and send a decoy for him. Like, there's never been a reason for that.
According to the interview notes. Why would they do that? What's the point? All right. Interesting. Okay. It says there's other sources as well. No one variable has to be impossible to explain. The point is the accumulated probability of all variables coincidentally happening simultaneously in a way that benefits extremely powerful people. And this is the ABC News article. Huge cache of
other headlines that we're tracking for you this
oopsie includes emails, financial exchange with wealthy and powerful people. And it is here in ABC News in black and white. The latest batch of documents includes emails between investigators about Epstein's death, including an investigator's observation that his final communication doesn't look like an S note. Multiple investigations determined that his death was an S. The records also detail a trick. Why this one simple prosecutors and everybody in the world hates this one simple trick. Okay, a trick that jail staffers used to fool the media gathered outside while Epstein's body was removed. They used boxes and sheets to create what appeared to be a body, loaded it into a white van labeled as belonging to the office of the chief medical examiner. The reporters followed that van when it left the jail, not knowing Epstein's actual body was loaded into a black vehicle, which departed unnoticed, according to the interviewer notes. It's insane. Fascinating, and I've read enough to be very sympathetic to your viewpoint. All those yachts in the Caribbean on New Year, some reunion. Okay, what's this going to be? Okay, that was silly. That was silly. We don't need to see that. File codes related to the decoy body. Okay, I found something. Document related to the ABC article you linked. The exchange between agents about the S note. It says, we separately wanted to flag to you in our unredacted portion of the report. OCME makes reference to a handwritten note that was found in his cell at the time of his death, although the report makes it clear it was not an S note. We have a photograph of the note, but it's difficult to read. It appears to be a list of grievances about the conditions at MCC, including the food, the showers, the presence of bugs, but we agree with OCME assessment that it does not appear to be an S note. This is, however, what ABC wrote. To me, okay, so I already read you this. It's from the article basically saying that it was concluded that it was a self-deletion. To me, it looks like a complete misunderstanding of what was written in the file, whether intentional or not. This specific exchange says the letter specifically is not an S note, while not getting at all in the merit of whether the death was an S, saying the agents are implying that is misleading. And to me, it looks like a way to either mention something that could put mystery on the death for engagement's sake, or a way to reinforce the S narrative. Case in point, what the document says is not what ABC says it's saying. Decoy body tracks 100%. Okay. That part's very damning, but we need to see the actual file. It's a very bold claim. They're saying, what's your take on this? This says prisoner count in Z to A went from 73 to 72 right before Epstein died. RE count slips. Why did the count change from 73 to 72 between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m.? Yeah, why? We got an answer for that? Someone was missing? Someone was missing. Bro, I wonder if the missing inmate has the same build as Epstein. What I did find this was looking through records from the prison until I found email chains. I looked for the emails around the date of death. I found a bunch of emails from redacted prison staff. Two of them had a very unique email signature that wasn't redacted. One of them was the IT guy, I think, who had a very nerdy one with no interesting results. The other one helped me find this email. My theory is that if there's anything in these documents worth finding, it's not going to be something you're going to find by searching a person's name or words like murder, because these are what people would have done first. Anything of interest needs to have been missed, like this. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe there's a totally reasonable explanation for why the numbers are different. Honestly, I didn't even know what a slip count was until I read this email and looked it up, but it's definitely suspicione. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it just keeps on coming. Okay, some of the exact verbiage is on page 102 here. This is the document number on the page. I haven't read it all. Edit, I appreciate how detailed you went into this post beyond reasonable doubt. I'm very reasonably doubtful. Page 1 of this link shows Epstein made an unrecorded call the day before he was deleted. The call was to his mother. His mother died in 2004. I don't think this is news, but like, what the F? Unrecorded call in federal custody. You can't even do that in a little podunk county jail. Let's have a look. Oh dear. All right. So this is basically like the FBI, I guess, opening of an investigation into the death of Jeffrey Epstein. They initiated an investigation. Here it says, on August the 10th, 2019, at approximately 1:45 p.m. hours, the reporting investigator basically conducted, there was basically a review of Epstein's inmate records, and they found out the following. Epstein had no phone calls on files with BOP. They found the inquiry to be odd because she was informed that Epstein had in fact made a call on the 9th of August, the day before he died. Inquiry of another inmate was conducted to ensure the database was operating correctly. Phone records were revealed for the test inmate run. The call was provided by BOP supervisor, who also reported the call informed the call was made on an unsecure line or legal line, which was not recorded. The reason for the call was placed in a manner because Epstein was related to blank and that there was an issue with his phone account. He could not make a normal call. When asked to utilize Epstein's code to make a test call to determine the validity of the reason for the unsecure call, he was informed that it would be impossible to test because the system is voice recognizable and voice activated. Further informed, inmates given calls once per every 30 days. One call may last 30 minutes. All calls are made from within the cell, and the personnel bring in a receiver or handmate for the inmate to utilize. What? His commissary had $566 on the account. Blank was able to retrieve a record of Epstein's last call. It was placed on an unsecure line approximately 7 p.m. and was made to blank. According to blank, Epstein indicated he was calling his mother. Blank was informed that Epstein's mother is deceased. Epstein's last cellmate was Ephraim Reyes. Who's this? No way. No way. No, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. On November the 27th, 2020, Ephraim Stone Reyes died in his mother's Bronx, New York apartment from COVID. Oh, that's convenient. Reyes was questioned by the FBI about Epstein and his alleged mistreatment by MCC staff. Wait. Did we just get 6ix9ine in the Epstein files? No way. Reyes cooperated, albeit reluctantly, which earned him a move to QCC, where cooperating witnesses like rapper 6ix9ine were held. Why didn't I ask 6ix9ine about this when I linked up with him? Next time I link up with 6ix9ine, I'm going to ask him.
Listen, paying $14.99 a month for a streaming app and $9.99 a month for a music app and $12
about this. What the hell? What
are the odds?
The hell?
What are the odds?
I'm tired of this, man. I'm scared. So I looked up his name some more, and I'm finding stuff like this. More than 24 people linked to him have died under mysterious circumstances. They're all connected through a money trail, apparently. 22 people have died under murky circumstances. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. There's just loads. There's just loads of them. I don't have time to go into them. His final cellmate, 3 of his accusers.
That's scary.
The Palm Beach detective who led the investigation died.
Wow.
His ex-butler died.
Oh, God.
Who swiped his little black book and offered to sell it to an FBI undercover agent. Died.
Oh, God.
After serving 13 months in a federal prison. 2 high-powered attorneys who helped him skate in the original case have died.
Wow.
The MIT artificial intelligence pioneer, he was 88, so that... a Miami hemp who was allegedly the first to traffic Virginia Giuffre died. 2 investigative journalists chasing the scandal, former NYPD detective and Epstein book author passed away. Celebrity biographer Wendy Lee also died.
Oh, God. I think
Jean-Luc Brunel, the French modeling
I think this is the last time we check up on these files.
Epstein. died in a prison cell, hung exact same way. Movie producer Steve Bing plunged from the 27th floor of his LA apartment building after talking to the FBI.
I don't think we
Mark
want to
Middleton,
cover this
advisor to Bill
anymore.
Clinton with ties to Epstein, was found hanged and shot.
Sounds
Hanged and
personal.
shot. Thomas Bowers, head of Deutsche Bank Wealth Management, who moved money for Epstein, was also found hanged inside of his California home.
Oh, God.
Epstein pal and former New Mexico governor Bill Richardson died in his sleep. Stephen Hawking.
I think this is letting you know to mind your fucking business.
Les Wexner, the owner of Victoria's Secret, who gave him a bunch of money, died. 43-year-old lawyer was gunned down weeks before he was about to be investigated by the IRS. Oh, my God. The guy who was suspected into Shapiro's, the previous person's unsolved murder, died.
Wow, Chad.
I'm
scary.
over this at this point. All right, I'm over this. Crazy. All right.
Oh,
What? All right. Let me go back to the original post. Okay, we go back to the original post.
Scary thing.
All right. So look, let's just dig a little bit deeper into some of the
A
aspects
little bit
of this.
deeper?
As that Reddit post kind of said, you got to
Oh,
believe all.
I don't know, Chad. You guys want to keep going deeper? This guy's wilding, man. I mean, did we just read all the people that mysteriously died? Because that was kind of crazy. They mysteriously just died. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know why the white people die in the scary movies, because they want to dig a little deeper. Let's see where he goes with this.
All of these things at the same time to actually accept the official version of the story. So let's look a little bit closer into just each one of those aspects. All right, let's kick off with the camera angles, okay? Because basically, following Epstein's death, the official government narrative was basically that the guards on duty, they just both happened to fall asleep at the same time whilst working their federal job.
Where the nation's highest profile inmate was locked up alone, his cellmate having been transferred elsewhere just hours earlier. The guards are expected to perform rounds every half hour and count inmates 5 times a shift. But prosecutors say they did none of that and instead falsified the logs. That 41-year-old Michael Thomas and his partner, 31-year-old Tova Noel, remained in their common area for 8 straight hours, surfing the internet and apparently sleeping, until they went to serve breakfast at 6:30 a.m. and found Jeffrey Epstein with a bedsheet tied around his neck.
Okay. So after this, right, the story would then shift basically to people looking at kind of this footage from the cell block. Its only working camera was eventually released. And this apparently showed that the guards were awake, and it revealed a very convenient blind spot for the camera. Look at this.
I am obsessed with this staircase, right? It has 8 steps. It has black banisters on both sides. It is narrow, about the width of a standard doorway. The staircase is the only access point to the jail cell where Jeffrey Epstein died on the night of August 9th, 2019. And I've been trying to figure out whether someone could go up those stairs without being seen by the one working security camera in the cell block. According to the Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, it's impossible.
There's video that when you look at the video, you're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there.
Dan Bongino says he's entirely convinced of it because video shows nobody could have gone near Epstein's cell that night. Nobody could have gone up those stairs without being seen. But here's the thing. That's not what the video shows at all. On the video, you can see an officer walk from her desk out of shot at 10:38 p.m. A minute later, you see an orange shape go up the stairs towards Epstein's wing of the cell block. Now, government investigators say that this orange shape is the same officer, Officer Noel, carrying orange bed sheets and jumpsuits up the stairs. Then, 2 minutes later, at 10:41 p.m, you see Officer Noel walk back across the floor. So, to recap, you see the orange shape, presumably her, go up the stairs. And then you see her back on the ground floor. You never see her come back down the stairs. So, someone can walk up and down the stairs undetected by the camera. And yet, Dan Bongino said
that when you look at the video, you're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there.
There could have been somebody there. The entry to the cell block is off screen. The entirety of SEAL Team 6 could have gone in and out of Epstein's cell without the camera seeing, as long as they hugged the right-hand banister. So now you can see why I'm obsessed with this staircase.
Yeah, it's a little bit sketchy, right? So Elsewhere, okay, prolific YouTuber Dr. G would basically give his thoughts, and he would present what he believed was evidence of a cover-up, basically revealing that multiple other cameras in the cell block were actually functional at the time.
If you look at the footage to the right here, it's labeled August 11th, 2019, around 2200 hours. And according to the government, this footage does not exist. Now, let me explain what I mean by that, because this was actually released in the latest batch of Epstein files. Now, Jeffrey Epstein's body was found on August 10th, 2019 at 6:33 a.m. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this is the next day, so you may be going, well, who cares? This is the day following. But this is extremely significant when you really understand everything that's been reported and all of the details of the case. In just a moment, I'm going to show you a map of this area. I'm going to show you where all of the cameras are. I'm going to show you where everybody is housed. I'm going to explain why, according to the government, this footage cannot exist. Now, watch these officers right here. I want to show you where they're going to go. Now, you see the staircase right here, the one that these officers are getting ready to walk up. This is where Jeffrey Epstein was housed. This is up to what's called L tier. This is referred to, this whole area is referred to as the SHU in the MCC. The MCC is the prison. The SHU is the special housing unit. So it's where people that are not in the general population are put. And each little area is called a tier. There's an upper tier and a lower tier. Jeffrey Epstein is housed in tier L, which is the upper tier. That's where these officers are walking right now. As you can see, you have a pretty clear shot of them. If you've seen previous videos about the footage that was released on the night of Jeffrey Epstein's death, the quality is terrible. It's actually from back here. If you look in the upper right, that's where that camera is. Actually, let's look at a map of all of this so
you get the gist, right? It's like this footage isn't supposed to exist, okay? And where's the rest of it? We've only got the next day. It's a little bit strange, okay? Now, as all of these files start coming out, okay, then we start getting kind of detailed reviews of the 170-page case file that highlights just how suspicious Epstein's entire stay in prison was, that basically led up to the discovery of the body, okay? There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that's been going around. So this was posted in r/Epstein. This guy said he read all 170 pages. He said this is a wild read. Investigators in 2021 talking to the SIS investigator for Jeffrey Epstein. This person constantly contradicting themselves. So many sketchy things happening in this. Cameras, keys, access, mischecks, no room searches for days. Jeffrey Epstein in the wrong cell. Cellmate removed 1 day prior and not replaced. Excessive linens, 1 mattress, then 2 mattresses, non-secure phone calls, removing items, pill bottles, multiple nooses. JE found on the ground with nooses, not actually hanging. I'm literally so deep in this. Ask me anything. Okay. This says, what happens to the inmate? What does the MCC do with the inmate? They said if it was an incident where he was found, let's say, while I was a lieutenant on, and it happened, I would remove him from the cell, of course, immediately notify psychology of what occurred. At that point, I would be placing him on S-Watch with inmate companion watching him, but I would make sure, you know, we take all of his clothing, everything, and we would make sure he got nothing but an S-Smog and an S-Blanket. And they said, how long does that normal S-Watch last? They said it can vary. What's the shortest you've ever seen somebody placed on S-Watch? Maybe a couple of days, but I can't tell you, you know, 1 or 2 days, 3 maybe, but maybe a couple of days. Based on what we found out, it looks like this attempt was on the 23rd and 24th morning. He was removed from S-Watch and placed under psych observation. He says, right. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. It says, recall by that anyone from upper management or even psych mentioning that he was required to have a cellmate. I didn't hear it per se, but normally when they come off S-Watch or a psych observation, they usually have to have a cellmate, and psychology usually harbor on that. You know, they have to. Why is it? Have a cellmate? Why is it that they need a cellmate? I don't want to guess, but I would say that even though, you know, an attempt was possibly made, you want to prevent something like that happening going forward. And do you recall, but you said you're not sure, but do you recall that there was a requirement for Epstein to have a cellmate? He said, yes, I do recall them saying he had to have a cellmate, and that was by word of mouth. And he said, yep, by word of mouth. And they said, so you consider that like a policy violation? He said, yes, if it's not logged in the system, then it's almost as if it never happened. Yes, go ahead. That's all I have. I know that you looked into the monitor, the phone call that Epstein made the night before on August the 9th, right? And what's your understanding of what transpired? Like, how did he make that phone call? He said, my understanding is that his unit manager gave him the phone call on an unsecured line. He placed Epstein in the shower area. That's what my understanding. And he plugged the phone into an unsecured line and he gave him a phone call. And based on what we based the interviews on, it looks like Epstein asked to speak to his mother. Right. And he asked for his pack and his PIN was not set up. He said, well, let's ask her. Can't be talking about the mother, right? What's your understanding of what happened? That was my understanding, that he made a phone call to his mother. Have you learned anything since then? No. Well, I did learn that his mother was deceased on the 10th. And they said, and do you know who he actually called? I don't. I actually was present when we, this is so creepy, when we did get the number and the NYPD guy called the number back, but I don't know who it was. Don't know, didn't check. Moving on.
Didn't bother.
He actually, he actually dialed the phone to check to, rather than doing a search, he called the number that they, I think he did a search. Okay. I think he did a search, and he called the number. From here at the BOP, he said, no, I want to say he might have called from a phone that he had. He had a cell phone? Yeah, I want to say that he called from his phone. Was this in your presence? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was there. He said, did they bring their cell phones into the institution? We got approval for them to bring their phones in because they was doing an investigation. He said, oh, okay. He said, yes. And do you know if someone answered when he called? I want to say a female answered, but then hung up. Did he identify himself? I can't remember. Okay, I can't remember. Bro. He said, yes, blank, our country? Wait, what? Wait, what? Yes, redacted. Our country? Okay, cool. So did you assist her when... Yeah, I was there when she walked in. You both were. Yes. What was your impression when you saw it? Like, what did you see when you walked in? Just, it wasn't much in the cell. It was just more like linen sheets, linen stuff. Was there an excessive? Yeah, an excessive amount of linen and sheets. Yes. Did you inventory that? No, I didn't. Do you know around how many linens and sheets were in there? Oh, no. So this is from the outside of his cell, the second picture. Yeah, with blank. This is on the outside. Yes. So what is this wire coming up? Is this the CPAP machine? Yes. Okay. And you said you removed it from the cell. Yes, we took the CPAP machine. Okay. And the CPAP machine only extends to right there. I can't remember where it was located at. I just know that she went, took it out. So what? He said was there on the CPAP machine, and that cord specifically, was there any indication that he might have used that to strangle or attempt to do stuff to himself, or someone else attempt to do stuff to him? And he said, no, just like the CPAP machine with the cord. So was the cord not like disheveled or out of place? Was it straight from the machine all the way to where it was plugged in? He said, I can't remember. I said, okay, but there was nothing? I can't. He said, that indicated that he was strangled or anything other than the noose, what they found in there? He said, no, nothing indicated the CPAP machine cord was used. He said, no. No, okay. What happened to the CPAP machine? It's in the SIS shop in the inventory. Oh, it's still there? It should still be there. It's been gone for a while, but yeah.
Bob told us that they were going to test the alien craft that night.
I have seen extraterrestrials face to face.
In the shrubbery are...
Yes. People in the comments saying, hey, remember to take a break, have a nice cup of tea or coffee. This shit is insane and we got to take care of ourselves. That's real shit. Bruh, I'm actually just tired and mentally strained from covering all this shit. I'm not going to lie to you. The psychological profile of Epstein doing himself is weak. The man illustrates no shame regarding his disgrace and former prosecution, and he carries on regardless. He also has stated state-sponsored safety nets and elite ties. He was just holding on for the next line to swing to the next lever he could pull. Hell, even a pardon. Basically, even when pinned down with international condemnation, he still had maneuvers to make, and that's why they offed him. These maneuvers could only be retaliatory for those he had blackmail on. Said, you're in deep, so what's your theory? A jail set up so he could off himself to avoid punishment, a jail set up so an assassin could enter and off him, a fake body double was killed and he got out of jail. So I have no theory based on this information alone. There isn't enough to know what happened. If I had to speculate, probably number 2. Jail set up so an assassin could enter and do him. This, the way this person answered about how keys were stored, how camera person accessed the room when they requested OT to fix the cameras days off, it just doesn't add up. Maybe number 3 if I'm
you
feeling
saw that jail. You think that some assassin just gonna walk up in there and do? No, that's not how it works.
Crazy. Testimony of the guard that found him. Do we want to do that? I'm going to have a mental breakdown at a certain point. I swear. Okay, so this is 300 pages. This is 300 pages. I don't know if I've got this in me, but I am seeing some stuff basically where he's talking about showing the picture, saying, did he fall to the floor? So what did you do? So I'll do a little snippet of this, and I'm going to have to dig into this deeper. Okay, but they're basically saying so he basically said, did you take down somebody, put it back up? It was attached to them. It wasn't just a single piece. It might have more rope to it. There was more rope to it, but this is what was hanging. He was hanging. It was something. I don't know if it's a sheet or a shirt or wherever it might be, but yeah, said he was hanging from over there, from this area. Yeah. Said, all right, you mind just initialing and dating that? All right. So when you went in, you found him. He was still hanging. Yep. He said, and what did you do? I ripped him down and I yelled and help and started CPR. How did you rip him down? Yeah, I just ripped the sheet down. So you ripped the sheet first. Oh, so you could just rip the... So he could hang his whole body weight off of it, but you just ripped it. And then did you like pick him up or did you just throw him on the floor? Yeah. Or did he fall on the floor? Just kind of like got him to the floor. I ripped it off and then he dropped, of course. And then I laid him onto the ground. So he dropped, fall after you? Well, it wasn't, as you could see, it's not that. As you can see by the thing, it's like that. Where's the picture? Right here. Can I have the picture back? The ground, it right here, like if you take his maybe plot to he was maybe like 1.5 inches off the ground. So he was lower than so after you ripped this thing, did he just fall first? Just drop down, yeah. He dropped down? And then you moved him. So, all right. I did not move him to can't hear it. And it said, so you ripped the sheet, he falls to the floor. So then you moved him. Where did you start CPR? I said, yeah. So I could lay him down and start CPR. So do you remember if he's like anything, his body hit anywhere? I don't remember when he fell. No, I don't remember his body hitting anywhere. The reason why we're asking is like with the autopsy, we've got to make sure of that. Yeah, it's just like a drop down. So he dropped. So basically, do you remember if he landed on his butt? Yeah, on his butt. Yeah, he landed on his butt there. He landed on his butt. But his head remained upright? Nah, I'm sure I don't mean upright like looking at you. I mean he was like, body was upright. I would guess that he just limped over. I would say limped over. Okay. And then you physically moved him to, to the floor. The floor, yeah. All right. Do you remember if his like anything hit harder than another when you moved him? I really don't, to the floor. Remember other than, worries. No worries. He said, so he was still hanging. That was the position you found him in. You ripped it off. He fell to the floor. Then you moved him to the ground. What was he wearing at the time? Do you remember? Pants? Was he naked or anything like that? Did he have his clothes on? He wasn't naked. He still had I'm going to say he had a jumper on. He had his jumper. You know how they have it all the way around at the top right there? It's like around the waist. Maybe he had pants on. I do remember he wasn't totally naked. Okay. He wasn't in his boxer shorts or anything like that, but he had no shirt on. He didn't have his shirt on. He didn't have a shirt. When he fell off, did that come away from his he didn't have anything around his neck when he came up. Was it either a sheet or a shirt? I don't know which one it is. A sheet or a shirt? I didn't really pay attention to it. Now, the sheets and the shirts both orange? Yes. What, like the orange ones they brought through? Oh, my God. So it wasn't, you weren't able to tell if it was, you couldn't tell if it was a sheet or a shirt. No, I didn't. I didn't look to see what it was. Now, what did he look like? A white male? I don't know. Was he completely purple? No, absolutely not. He wasn't completely. He was just looked like himself. So it wasn't like he was red or blue or his lips weren't like a different color. It wasn't any of that stuff. He was just, it looked like it happened just recently or like, I mean, I'm not a doctor. Sure. Tell if you're a doctor, he just didn't look, I didn't say he didn't look different. I mean, he just like he himself. There was no discoloration like that. If that's what you're trying to get at, it's just like he himself. So he didn't look that much different to when he was alive. Yeah, didn't look. He pretty much looked the same.
Oh, shit.
And you said you didn't notice anything unusual in his cell? No, I didn't. And you said that you started CPR. And what did you do? I started doing chest compressions, like mouth-to-mouth type stuff. Well, it wasn't long before they came with the thing and they started doing all the other stuff. I can't remember the medic name. Can't remember the guy's name. He was all kind of right there next to the bed. Okay. They did everything. They were doing AED, everything there right inside the cell. I'm doing my chest compressions. He's laying out right there a few feet. Okay. Yeah. You didn't really have to move him much. After you moved him from the hanging position to the ground, to the floor, chest compressions. Did you do anything else? There was a whole bunch of staff there. You didn't know how long he was doing it for. Seemed like the blink of an eye. Everybody was around him. Did he seem gone at the time? He said, no, he didn't. He actually seemed like he was alive. Well, he didn't. I don't really want to say dead or alive. I was doing chest compressions. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I just kept going. I didn't know if he was dead or anything at the time. Did you notice if he had a pulse? Did you check for a pulse? He said the doctor was there. I know when I was doing chest compressions, I didn't stop to check for a pulse. Let the medical staff do that because somebody from medical was doing it. So how did you know how to do chest compressions if you didn't? He said, I mean, I don't know if somebody looked like they're not breathing or anything like that. He's just not talking. I'm yelling out his name. He's not, responding. So did you check for a breath? Yeah, I checked for a breath. So prior to doing chest compressions, you check for breath. He said, yes, I checked for breath. How did you do that? I would just go like, I was telling Epstein, like, yo, Epstein, he wasn't breathing. So that's my interpretation of checking. I'm yelling. He's not breathing. He's not calling to me. He's not saying anything. So I guess what I'm asking is did I put my hand over here and check for breath? Yeah, no, I didn't. So you didn't I was yelling his name and everything to see if he was doing anything there. I'm like, yo, Epstein. I'm pushing his upper torso. So you didn't really feel for a pulse or check for his breath. No, I didn't do all that stuff. All right, but you believed he wasn't breathing. I don't know if he wasn't breathing. I don't know if he was just hanging. I was just trying to get him to start. He was just trying to rev him up. So you saw him hanging and your just natural reaction was to do chest compressions. He said, absolutely. Okay. So you don't actually know if he was breathing. I don't know. I don't know if he's breathing. You don't know if he was alive. I don't know if he was alive or not. So you didn't actually check for anything. You went straight to chest compressions. Yeah, I went straight to chest compressions and yelling. I was getting no response. Did you hit him or anything first? He said, nah. Trying to wake him up. He said, I just kept yelling his name. I'm shaking him. I'm doing chest compressions. That should be enough to wake somebody up. Hey, like that. And I didn't. He said, they didn't teach you CPR. So that's part of the ART. Did you teach you that prior to doing CPR, you're supposed to check if they're alive first? Prior to CPR, the standard model is to check airways and everything like that. But of course, in the moment, I didn't slow down and say, let me check for responsiveness. That's exactly what I did. I'm yelling your name. That was checking for a response. I wasn't getting a response. So the only reason I'm going into more details, you weren't sure if he was alive or not. He said, Said, all right, I understand. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if there's more questions I need to ask with regard to that. Crazy. All right, look, I'm not going to sit here and read all 300 pages, but I'm definitely going to bookmark that for later. That's crazy. Okay, that's actually insane. The fact that that's even a thing is insanity. Okay, now what we're going to move on to, okay, is the fact that they're basically, I'm going to save this. That's crazy. This is insane. This is just insane. So, all right. So since then, more videos have revealed apparently a very happy Jeffrey Epstein recording himself in what some people are saying is some sort of coded message, right? So this is a secret prison video showing Epstein recording creepy messages from women from jail.
Greg, we need to talk.
No time, got sales calls to summarize.
You really need to switch to Monday CRM. It has built-in AI.
Okay, so Darren and I are sitting here. You can hear the echo. I'm pretending I'm talking to Darren. So, hi Darren. Are you guys having a good time? You can see I have a little sore on my face that I got from some black guy trying to kiss me. It's really disgusting.
He just said he had a sore on his face from some certain color guy trying to kiss him. Now, I don't buy that for a second, but that's crazy. He would even say that.
Oh, it's really, Anyway, I have pictures up on the wall. I had to borrow the Scotch tape to get the pictures on the wall. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, so Darren and I are sitting here. You can hear the echo. I'm pretending I'm talking to Darren.
Okay, they play it twice. People are saying, I don't think he committed S. I think they killed him. But just to remind you all, nobody looks S until they do the deed, right? So it doesn't mean he mauled himself. He definitely could have made a story along the line, part of his deal getting away from jail. We know the amount of investment he would have turned away to simply off himself. What a creep. So look, all right, I think that's enough for one video, okay? I'm already having nightmares about this stuff, and it is getting creepy, okay? I was going to stop making videos about this. That's some of this stuff I wanted to react to today. There's like one more thing that I want to dig into and react to, but I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to go to bed because this is just a little bit too much. But honestly, it's so hard to believe the official story about this, but they're really, like, there's not enough to go on. I mean, just because it sounds a bit fishy, the way that they described finding him, I don't know if there's an... I'm just tired of this, man. Can somebody just solve this? Can CoffeeZilla just solve this for us, and we can just all sleep easy, all right? We can just all sleep easy and just never talk about this creep ever again. I'm so tired, all right? I'm exhausted. I'm done. I don't want to make videos about this anymore. But anyway, okay, let me know what you thought of that breakdown. I could dig deeper into some of this stuff. Let me know if you want that. If you want to torture me more, like I'm imprisoned on the island. I could do more of this, okay? There's not really much else going on. All I'm seeing when I go on social media all
You already see what it is, chat. Drop your comments in the comment box. If you think you agree with him, you want him to keep doing some more dives, you could want him to keep going deeper. I personally think all of that happened for a reason. And if somebody went out their way to do all of that, I would think that that person is a person not to be fucked with. All right, guys, you already know it's your boy King Buddha, and smash the like button if you like what we're doing. There should be another video popping up right now that's suggesting and telling you, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it, so click on that one of these videos here. In the meantime, you already know it's your boy King Buddha, and we'll see you around. Peace.
It's the cheap challenge. It's the cheap challenge. It's the cheap challenge. It's the cheat challenge. King Buddha, it's never too late to awake you. King Buddha, it's never too late for mistake to. King Buddha, it's never too late to awake you. King Buddha, it's never too late for mistake to. King Buddha, shut up or shut up. King Buddha, shut up or shut up. Fuck.